All right, so Conor McGregor against Cowboy Cerrone. This is my breakdown stroke prediction video. If you haven't already, check out my preview video that I've just posted on YouTube, and it'll give you a bit of context behind my trailer thought. So I'm going to quickly try and make this because it's getting late and I got work tomorrow. And also, I've been thinking about this fight for the last week or two, but I haven't really planned how I'm going to articulate my thoughts. So this video might be a little bit jumbled up. So let me just focus on Cowboy first. How can Cowboy win this fight? Look, Cowboy is a world-class martial artist, and I don't think people are giving him enough credit going into this fight. What are his strengths? For me, his strengths are he's well-rounded. His main attribute is his kickboxing, and he's able to take advantage of his opponents if he's able to get them to the ground with a deadly submission game. And he's a very competent grappler. So how can he use those strengths against Conor McGregor? One of Cowboy's weaknesses is notoriously notoriously, and he's fighting Conor McGregor. You see what I did there? But notoriously, he's a slow starter. So he needs to avoid being tentative against Conor McGregor as soon as the bell goes in the first round, because Conor McGregor is like a sprinter. He's a fast starter. He's on from the moment the fight starts. So how does how does Cowboy ease his way into the fight without getting caught? I think he needs to focus on his kicks. The amount of head kick KOs he's got, the amount of times he's set up submissions with his kicks by hurting his opponent to the body, by kicking his opponent's legs out. I think he needs to focus on that because Conor McGregor's got the longest reach. Conor McGregor's the more mobile fighter. He's the faster fighter for me. So he needs to stay out of punching range, try to stay out of punching range, and use his kicks to the legs. And also, don't be scared to throw kicks to the body, because we know that Conor McGregor, the chances of him shooting for a takedown are slim to none. And even if he does shoot for a takedown, Cowboy's more than well versed enough to deal with Conor McGregor on top of him on the ground. So we know that Conor's not going to shoot, but we also know that Conor can counter with a punch over the top. So he needs to kick. If he's going to kick to the body, he needs to be confident that he's out of range for Conor to retaliate with a punch, basically. So what does he need to do? I think he needs to try to get Conor McGregor into the second, third round, but not engage fully. So that's throw kicks, move, throw kicks to the leg, kicks to the body. Try to get Conor McGregor to a point where he's slowing down and his movement isn't as mobile as he will be at the start of the fight. Once he's managed to get Conor McGregor into the second half of the second round, kind of the third round, and Conor McGregor has potentially slowed down from the damage he sustained from leg kicks and body kicks, I think then Cowboy can start stepping in and start grappling. And once he started to grapple, one of Cowboy's strengths is the tie clinch, clinching with his opponent and throwing knees and kicks up close. And then he can start setting up shots where he's throwing punches and getting Conor McGregor to think, all right, is this punch coming over the top? Feint with a punch, head kick. I think he needs to start mixing up the grappling and the striking as the fight progresses. Be a bit cautious in the first round. Be a bit cautious in the first half of the second round. But if he can see Conor McGregor is tiring and Conor McGregor is feeling the strikes that he's throwing with the kicks, then it's time to step it up, and then it's time to start grappling, and then it's time to start throwing punches, elbows from the tie clinch, and then eventually he might be able to find himself into a position where he's able to get Conor McGregor up against the cage, get him kind of take him down, and then now he's starting to get Conor McGregor thinking about, all right, now it's not just kicks coming, it's not just punches, now he's coming in close, now he's trying to shoot for the takedown. He's getting Conor McGregor to what's the right way of saying this? He's getting Conor McGregor to worry about what Cowboy's doing rather than focus on what Conor McGregor is doing in terms of his own attacks. Another thing that might play into Cowboy's favour is The two times I've seen Conor McGregor fight at 170 pounds against Nate Diaz, for me he hasn't been as mobile as he was at 155 pounds and obviously at 145 pounds. I don't know whether it's the extra weight or whether it's just the sheer size of Nate Diaz or whether it's just Nate Diaz because he's the master of dragging his opponent into deep water. So maybe it was just the opponent that made Conor McGregor look like he was slower at 170 pounds. I wouldn't put all my eggs in that basket if I was Cowboy, because that would be clutching at straws. But there is a chance that Conor McGregor might be a slower version of himself, a slower version of the Conor McGregor that we've seen fight at 155 pounds and win a world title, and at 145 pounds and win a world title. So it may be that Conor's not as mobile at 170 pounds, and that will work in Cowboy's favour. Conor McGregor, on the other hand, he just needs to be himself to win this fight. I think Conor McGregor wins this fight 9 times out of 10. And if you watch the way he fought Eddie Alvarez, the way he dismantled Eddie Alvarez, that's basically the fight that he needs to fight, and he'll beat Donald Cerrone. Like I said, he needs to, what I mentioned earlier when I was talking about Cowboy. Cowboy needs to avoid Conor getting comfortable by throwing kicks. Conor McGregor throwing. I'm getting muddled up now. Let me start this again. For Conor to win, he just needs to do what he did against Eddie Alvarez. He needs to be mobile. He needs to get Cowboy to how am I going to articulate this? Conor just needs to basically be himself. Is I suppose what I'm trying to say. He needs to just implement the same game plan that he does against all of his opponents. He needs to throw kicks to the body. He needs to set up his punches with kicks. He needs to get Cowboy to double think what's coming at him. It's really hard for me to articulate because the movement that Conor McGregor has and the way he manages the distance between himself and his opponent and the way he sees what his opponent is throwing so early and is able to avoid it and get himself into a space where he's in striking distance of his opponent. That's basically what he needs to do. What he needs to avoid, Conor McGregor, is avoid kicks coming in to his head, basically. That's one of Cowboy's strengths, so he needs to avoid that. But I'm not really articulating what Conor McGregor does and what his strengths are very well, to be honest, because it's quite late at night. But I think what I am basically trying to say is Conor just needs to be Conor to win this fight. Will the layoff play a part in how Conor looks come Saturday night? I don't think so. I think Conor is mentally strong enough, and I think Conor has that much self-belief that he can just pick up from where he left off. Let's not forget, he had a similar sort of layoff between the Eddie Alvarez, and he came in and he fought Khabib. Yeah, he lost that fight, but he didn't look like he had ring rust. From what people like Dominic Cruz have said, and the comments that he made about him when he spoke to Conor McGregor, and he really believes that Conor is dialed in and Conor McGregor is going to show the best version of himself come Saturday night. If someone like Dominic Cruz is saying that, then I've got to believe it. And if that's the case, then I just feel like Conor McGregor is a better fighter than Cowboy. And I can't see anything other than a second round finish. I think Conor gets the finish by a TKO. I think he'll hurt Cowboy, and I think he'll jump on top of Cowboy, and I think the referee will come and wave it off in the second round. That's my prediction. And I know I've done a really bad job of kind of telling you guys how I think Conor can win this fight or will win this fight. I struggle to put into words Conor's skills. Like, I can't verbalize what he does and how well he does it. It's just like the way he's able to manage the distance between himself and his opponents. And because Cowboy's not very mobile, and Cowboy's quite like a upright fighter, I feel like Conor will be able to just pepper him with shots, like just dip in and out and use his movement, and he'll be able to manipulate Cowboy in terms of push him around, not physically push him, but with his own movement, make Cowboy react and move around the cage into areas that suit Conor, and put him in range for Conor to throw kicks to the body. And let's not forget, Cowboy has been hurt to the body several times in his career, and he physically shows that he's been hurt to the body. And I think that will be an area that will definitely be of interest to Conor McGregor, because he also has very strong and accurate kicks to the body, and I think Conor will utilize that because he's got the advantage with reach. So Cowboy will try and stay out of striking range to avoid the left hand, but he might not be able to avoid the kicks coming back at him. So I think Conor will soften him up with kicks to the body, kicks to the leg. But similar sort of game plan to what I'm saying Cowboy needs to deploy. But I think with Cowboy, he needs to be not so much the aggressor, but when he has the opportunity, throw a kick. When he can see Conor coming in, throw a kick. Whereas Conor's needs to be the aggressor in terms of he needs to make Donald Cerrone do things. He needs to make Cerrone react, which means he needs to be very active, and he needs to keep throwing kicks and keep throwing punches to the body and keep throwing punches to the head, even if they don't land, a jab, even if it doesn't land. And I think that's what Conor will do, because he'll start quick and he'll be more active, and I think he'll hurt Cowboy in the first round, and come the second round he'll get the finish. That might be the worst breakdown video I've ever done, but it's done now, and I'm going to upload it. I'm not going to record this again because it's 12:30 at night, and then I've got to edit this as well, and I don't even know how to edit properly. If you see my other video, it took me an hour to edit that, and the audio isn't even in sync with the video. So that's how I'm living my life these days. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Put your predictions below. Let me know what you think of my predictions. I'm sorry my Conor bit was it was just me rambling. But yeah, it is what it is, as Blessed Holloway would say. I'll catch you guys on the next video. Enjoy the fights.